My YouTube world, this is Johnny Mo coming to you with a preseason video. What I mean by preseason video, I understand that a lot of people are getting very excited right now. The phone is ringing. This time of year, the phone probably rings more than any other time of year because it's sunny out, it's getting warm out, people are outside, they're looking around, they want to do this, they want to do that. You're getting a lot of bids, and everyone's getting excited. What I want to talk to you today about, though, is about scheduling. I read this really great time management book called Tell Your Time, and in that book is the best book I read on time management. Very simplistic, very easy. It's basically lays out everything you need to do to have control of your time, and I try to read that at least once every other year. I'm very good at scheduling, but this is something I want to pass on to you. It's often overlooked. I haven't seen any other videos on scheduling out there. Maybe one. I think Eek the Freak had one a few years back. Very good channel and a very good video, if I remember right. But this is something I do. Is when it comes to an organization, you know, I printed this off their website. Tell Your Time. It's a weekly schedule, and on it's Monday through Sunday, and then on this side it has the times. So what you would do is you'd put the times in, and each day you would tell your time what you're doing. Why is that important? Because then you know how much time you have to make money. Then you become more conscious of dollar per hour. Something's very important is realizing how much you can do in a day. Because right now the phone's ringing off the hook. You're taking everything and everything. But you know that client might not be the very best suit for you. And why I say that is because now where I'm from, we don't have a lot of clients in our town. In fact, this is a very funny thing. Is I just watched this video. I think it was on Friday, maybe it was Saturday. I can't remember which day it was, but the interview preview of Jonathan Autogenic of Lawncare Millionaire, interviewed by Stanley, and he was breaking it down, and he said that Jonathan had 5,500 customers, plus it was about a $10 million business. And I just, just for the fun of it, I just decided to get in my car, go out for about 3 to 4 hours, and I just started driving around our county, our townships, and looking at the pockets of wealth. And I was just counting up who I know is in business, and where the pockets of wealth are, where people are mowing grass at. And I was able to eliminate 3 sides of town. On the west side, there's 4 sets of housing projects. On the south side, there's 2 sets. On the east side, there's two more sets of housing projects. On 2 of those sides, there's no lawn care going on. On the one side, east side, there's about 4 or 5 streets that get it done. That's between $20 and $30 a cut, and the houses are so jam-packed in close to each other that actually you couldn't even get a trailer in. So what I did is I started to go out to the townships, and I started to take a look, drive around, see who's getting their land. I couldn't even come up with 5,500 customers in our whole county. This guy has 5,500 customers just in his business in Dallas. And it's funny because, you want to look at, I watch a lot of different videos, and I watch a lot of different people, from small businesses to large business. There's something to learn everywhere. And I'll give you an example, like Brian from Top Notch did a video about a month ago, and he wrapped his pampas grass with duct tape, and he was able to cut it out pretty smooth and keep it together. I've never known that. I've been doing it 19 years. We always bungee cord them, but duct tape, that's a cheap, efficient way of just doing that. So you can learn something from everybody. And at the same time, I'm trying to grow and grow as a person and learn as a person, so I listen to the larger ones. But here's something else you have to think of. A lot of things that are said may not apply to you. Like Jonathan Potocznik's program, I read his book. It's not going to work here. So I have to take what I can from Jonathan, which are great advices and different things, but at the same time, I can't take everything he says, nor can I take everything that Stanley says. I could take a lot of the leadership, a lot of different business practices, different ideas, and different perspectives that I may not have as being a medium-sized business where these guys are large businesses. So, and going forward, you want to take something from everyone. You want to be a lifelong learner. You want to learn about your craft. You want to do things. And I'm telling you, this is a great way to do it, is by watching different YouTube videos. What I found funny is looking at my schedule and looking at when I read did a video. I just went around just driving, and I couldn't even come up with 5,500 customers in our whole town. I mean, you know, that's about 5% of our county. We have about 90,000 people. Actually, about 88, 89,000. I'm just rounding up to 90. So we have about 5%. So we're working on 5%, about 5% of the population that gets these types of services done. And then out of that 5%, what you have is you have between anywhere from 30 to 80 companies, if you count the companies that come from out of county to come in here. You know, I know of at least 30 homegrowns, and then you have a lot of people coming from outside into the community, you know, to do some of the industrial parks and different things like that. And you know, we had American Beauty over here. We have different people coming in and out of the community from different states, even because we're right on the Ohio border, and you have different from out of counties that live close to the county border. So we're working about 5% of the community. So what you want to do is you want to figure out how can you get that 5% to use you. Just a tip, but let's keep on track. And doing your weekly schedule, and I said all to say this because in my county, you're going to have to work in different zones. Like I have a place where there's a pocket of wealth up north, and up north, you know, we have 3 days of work there. We have 1 day of work in the city. We have another day of work in my township, and then the last township we have a day of work over there. So you know, you're talking about 4 sides of the community. And so what's important is literally writing out a schedule, not just scheduling on your computer program, but looking at a calendar and saying, okay, we're going to start at 8:30. So from 8:30 to 5:30, we can cut this many lawns. So my Monday schedule's full. I just actually did my Monday schedule in my computer program. I planned it out for the year. And on my Tuesday schedule, you know, I might have 2 slots open. So I want to look to see in that community that I'm in on the Tuesday to see if I can get some to fill those 2 slots. So my Wednesday is condo day and, you know, cleanup day if anything happens on a Tuesday and Monday if it get rained out. So on Wednesday we do the HOA and then we clean up anything. If we don't have anything to clean up, then we start the landscaping. We start some projects. On Thursday, it's a filled list. There's no room on Thursday. There's nothing you can do. So the only thing else you can do is maybe back one up onto Wednesday. But again, once you pack out your Wednesday, then you have no makeup day. So then we go Friday. Friday, I can put 1. I have a slot for 1. So the reason why this is important to do that is because you can oversell at this moment. That phone is going to ring and ring and ring and ring and ring. And all of a sudden, you're like, yeah. But where are you at on what side of town, and can you actually fit it in the slots that you have? Now, obviously, this is not going to go big over with guys that just started because your calendar is probably going to look pretty bare. You're just starting. But again, remember, I'm talking to people. My videos are generally aimed at people who are making between $50,000 and $250,000 in their business. And oftentimes, this goes overlooked. You get ahead of yourself, you oversell, and you can't manage it. You need to be a master at your time. You need to understand that you're trading time for money, and there's only so much time. So write your schedule out from, I try to write it out from 6 o'clock in the morning till about 9 o'clock at night is generally, after 9, I don't want to be doing anything. I don't answer the phone. It's my time or whatever. If you have kids' balls games in there, you want to write that on your schedule. You want to tell your time what to do. And in doing that, you also want to be able to see where your pockets of cash are. You might be on a side of town that you're not getting phone calls from anymore, but you have about 5-6 accounts, takes you about a half a day. You might want to pass those accounts on and start building on another side of town where there is some pockets of cash. You can determine that by looking at your schedule. A lot of times what we do in the spring, we wait for the phone to ring, we do mailers, we do everything, we try to get this phone to ring, and all of a sudden, you know, you're starting to pick up stuff everywhere because you're excited. At first, that's okay, but you still want at some point to get some market saturation in the area that you're in. You know, my best accounts are ones where I pull up on a block and I'm doing 6 in a row. Or I'm pulling in a development, there's 9 in that development, or there's 6 on that development. And I think those are better than HOAs because you can bid each individual lawn in a development as opposed to an HOA, where you're basically giving a discounted price. You're gonna, okay, I'll cut all these lawns for $20 a piece, and it's nice you stop your truck, but there's so much work involved, usually 5-6 hours of work, whereas you can actually make more if you put yourself in a development. You get market saturation, and this is all you have to do to get market saturation. It'll take you about 4 to 5 years, but here's all you have to do. You have to go in there, get yourself one lawn. Make that lawn look good as possibly is the best to your ability. And after you do that, what you want to do is people will start to notice you as the years go on. Within a year, you'll get another one, and all of a sudden, like, hey, you do good work here. You're very consistent. You know, da 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 da. You hand them a business card, you hand them a flyer, and then all of a sudden, there you go. You have another lawn, and all of a sudden, you know, 2 years goes by. Wow, you're starting to do it, and then all of a sudden, it's 3, it's 4, it's 5. I've never personally handed out flyers. I'm not against flyers. I've never personally done it. So I've always got market saturation by me just being in the neighborhood and them seeing my work, and then eventually just boom, 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 boom. Now, if someone were to come outside next door and they'd wave at me and they'd say, hey, you do really good work. Hey, if you're ever interested, here's a business card. I always have the business cards in the truck. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I find in today's society, just me personally, I find people are overwhelmed by stuff in the mail. They're overwhelmed by phone calls at dinner time, always trying to get money out of them, always trying to do something. And generally what happens, if you give them a flyer, it's generally just thrown away. You know, unless it's really done at the right time, you know, you're generally not going to get, you know, a good response. And I believe Geek the Freak had a really good video on the best time to do that, because he's excellent at that stuff. So if you want to, you know, learn what the best time to do flyering, you would want to look at that video. And, you know, I do business letters to my clients. I give them a letter telling what's going on. In fact, I'm fielding a lot of phone calls right now, and I just got an upsell today, just as a little note on last week's video about the letters that went out at the right time. You know, I'm getting calls in, hey Johnny, I was just looking at your letter. Hey, I was thinking I want to do something with that swing set. You know, my Lawncare letter. The Lawncare letter went out. You know, I just got an upsell. Hey, you know what? I think we just want to go ahead with the grub preventative this year, just to make sure that there's no insects in it. So that's another upsell. Another thing happened this week is I did get a person who is selling their house, so I did lose one. But remember when I told you that I raised all my prices? I actually lost a $45 lawn, but I had $45 in a raise. So I didn't really lose one, but I gained a spot. Now that spot is on a Thursday that is jam-packed. And so I already have market saturation in this area, so I can pick up another one. So not only did not lose the $45 lawn because I raised my prices by $45 across the year, I also now have an open slot on a Thursday, which is a covenant slot, especially in that saturated area that I'm already in, because I get a lot of calls from that area, but I can't do anything because of my book schedule. So that's Tell Your Time. This is a preseason video. Have fun, YouTube.